All right. Yesterday was National Signing Day, and FSU finished the day with a consensus top three class. And I thought I'd just talk about that class. I can't remember every player off the top of my head, but I'll try to go ahead and go through them real quickly. My nose is stuffed, that's why I sound nasally as fuck. But, anyways, I'll go through the ones I can remember. I'll start on offense. Quarterback Malik Henry, four-star kid from California. At one point, transferred to IMG down in the Tampa area. Uh, got into some, I don't know, I don't want to say trouble, but had a disagreement with coaches there or something like that. He went back to California to finish his senior year. He was actually a five-star at one time. And actually, I remember watching ESPN. I think it was fall 2014. So he might have been, I guess that would be his junior season. Him committing on ESPN. It was like a big deal. But he fell to the four-star based on some, I guess, off the field stuff, and he apparently had some accuracy issues that junior year. I think picked it up a little bit last year. He's 6'3", 6'2" on some websites. I'll just say 6'3". That's what FSU had him listed as, and they never exaggerate. But anyway, 6'3", about 180-ish. So he obviously has to put on some weight. But I'm no scout. So let me preface this video by saying I'm no fucking scout. I don't pretend to be, but I do rely on the people that are scouts. And I watch a ton of, not a ton, but a good amount of videos of FSU's recruits, whether it's on YouTube or one of the recruiting services sites. And I also read multiple scouts' takes. So the opinions I have are formed from that. It's not like I'm out there in the fucking field. So I just want to throw that out there because I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm just an informed fan, I guess. But anyways, from what I've read and from what I can see, he first has a pretty darn quick release. Very good arm. Maybe not elite power, but good arm. Accuracy is good at times. He seems to really not mind being in the pocket. Like he just seems to always move his feet, whether he has to go up, sideways, whatever. He never seems to be, I guess, really under pressure, even though he is at times in some of the highlights. Heck, even the Under Armour game, the touchdown he threw, now, mind you, the guy was pretty fucking wide open. But he stayed in the pocket, and a guy hit him moments after he released the ball. And you always like to see that. I remember the Pittsburgh game, Jameis Winston's first game at FSU, when he just got crushed, just hung in the pocket, got nailed, but just stood there like it wasn't even coming and delivered the pass and had enough on it to get it to probably Rashad Green. Not saying this kid's going to be Jameis Winston, but it's a good prospect. Will he start from day one? Probably not, because Jimbo has yet to start a true freshman since he's been at FSU, and Winston had a red shirt, so I doubt it. But the door is open because McGuire's out for the spring due to ankle surgery, so it'll be a kind of a Francois and Henry battle. You want to throw JJ's name in there just for fun, but from what I read, apparently he's a moron. No offense to that kid, but well, offense. Anyway, spend too much time on one position. Malik Henry, boom, 6'3", 195. Maybe can put on 20 pounds by year 2, and really truly battle for the starting position. Running back Amir Razul, 4-star guy. I think when he initially committed was a 3-star, but as some prospects tend to do, once they commit to FSU or a program of that ilk, sometimes they get a bump because recruiting analysts and scouts think, team like that offered, maybe he's better than we thought. Also, of course, there's camps and all-star games, and he rode out in the God, it was an odd all-star game. It was not the two big ones. It was like maybe some shrine game. I can't fucking remember. Anyway, so he got bumped to a 4-star. He looks to be a speed guy. Maybe Mario Pender-ish, something like that. Good player, 4-star. So he's probably pretty solid. Receiver, they only took one, but it was a big one, literally. Keith Gavin, 4-star. He's about 6'3", 210, 220-ish. Good, but not great speed. His ability to high point the ball, man. Sound like Gruden. It was a big get, and a lot of analysts are pointing to him as like the guy that started the train towards National Signing Day and how good of a close they had because he signed the Friday before signing day. Anyway, great. Looks to be a good player, and considering the receivers FSU currently has, which is to say midgets, he could see the field early. If anything, he could see the field in maybe red zone situations because of his height and his body size. So again, another 4-star. I've already named, quarterback, running back, receiver. So 3 players, 3 4-stars. You might be noticing a trend here. Depending on the site, FSU signed about 17 or 18 blue chippers, which are 4 and 5-star players. So you're going to hear you're going to hear the term 4-star mentioned a lot. So sorry, it's going to get redundant. I guess I could just not say it and name all the people, but fuck it. I'll just say it anyway because there might be some 3-stars I'll mention later. So anyway, tight end, you got Upshur, who was kind of like the backup plan to the 5-star tight end they previously had committed. His name was Isaac Nada. He played at IMG, actually with Malik Henry. And I don't know what the fuck happened, if him and Malik didn't get along, or he just wanted to stay closer to home, because I think he was from Georgia. But he wound up decommitting and going to Georgia. And we wound up with Upshur, which is not a bad consolation prize. He's still 4-star tight end. Not your biggest, at least, or tallest, I should say. He's not like tiny or anything, but he's like 240. But he's only about 6'2", 6'3". So maybe in the mold of Nick O'Leary, because O'Leary wasn't like a Gronk type tight end, as any Seminole fan that's watching this will tell you. And then now to the offensive line, which is my and probably a lot of Seminole fans' favorite position group out of this class. I mean, holy shit! I've been waiting for a coup like this for many years. Because when Jimbo took over in 2010, the first thing he said was, I want to get GAMS, which is a funny acronym for grown-ass men. And that's exactly what the fuck he's done for the most part, and that's damn sure what he did in this class, because holy fuck. See if I can remember all these guys. Landon Dickerson is a 4-star, 5-star in some sites. Most project him he can't play tackle, but most project him to be an outstanding guard. He's about 6'5", in the 300 range. Just a fucking mauler. The little highlight videos I've watched, he just owns people to like 2 seconds after the whistle. Then he was picked up on signing day, and then another guy that was picked up on signing day was Juwan Williams. Very tall tackle, 6'7", around 300. Another 4-star. Then you have Bevion Johnson, center, rated the #1 center in the class, 4-star, 6'3", I think, about 330-ish. So a big motherfucker. So that's 3 linemen, 3 4-stars so far. Who else? Josh Ball, supposedly 6'7", 6'8", in that 300 range. Likely a tackle. So that's 4 linemen, all 4 stars. And then you have people like Mark Arnold, who was a 3 star, but he has the size, 6'6", I think it was like 6'6", 320, 330. He was from a prep school, and I guess typically prep school guys don't get rated that highly more often than not. So he could very well be as talented as the other guys, but he's the 3 star, so I won't label him as such. Baselli's kid, 3 star. I think he'll probably be a guard, definitely interior line. Um, he probably needs time to develop, but his size isn't bad either. I think he might be like 6'4", 6'5", 300-ish, right there. So name what? That should be all of them. 6 offensive linemen. I think that's what they had, and 4 of them were 4 stars. So just outstanding, easily. I wouldn't say easily because I didn't look at every other team's offensive line class, but no doubt the best offensive line class in the country, which is huge, huge for depth. Obviously, will any of them see the field next year? Probably not, but it sets up nicely for 17, 18, 19 when you can have time to develop them, have time to get stronger in the weight room, and then when guys leave due to graduation, draft, Roger Johnson, then they can step in and you're not having that year like 2011 where you're starting a bunch of true freshmen, or hell, even last year where they had decent depth, but they were still devastated by injuries, and you still had some young guys that shouldn't have been in there. So with the kind of depth they now have between this class and the players that are already on the roster, the offensive line, at least on paper, looks to be heading in the right direction. And yeah, I can't wait to see what these big boys do, because that's where the game's won. I mean, I'm not saying anything new here. The game is won in the trenches. So that about sums it up for offense. Defense, excuse me. Let's start on the D line. Same deal. Starts up front. They got Cedric Wood, defensive tackle, 300-pound guy. Can't remember his height. It's probably 6'3", 6'4". A 4-star guy, of course, continuing the trend. Another D tackle they got was Shavar Manuel, who flipped from Florida. And by the way, while I'm talking about Shavar Manuel, little disappointed in UF and ESPN because during signing day, we got breaking news. Shavar Manuel has decommitted, and we're hearing from people here, as in like UF, because she's on campus doing this report, that he's switching due to grades. Well, lo and behold, as time has gone on since signing day, and by that I mean a whole day, come to find out it wasn't fucking grades. It wasn't. And in fact, if I was given the correct information, most of UF and FSU's requirements for student athletes, or maybe just football players in general, I can't remember for sure, but I saw the spreadsheet of the requirements, and the first half of them are identical, and in the bottom half, reading, writing, blah, 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 FSU actually had slightly higher standards. So no, you arrogant fucking Gator fans, no, he didn't flip because of grades. And I think it was a scumbag move. Even if he did flip because of grades, how do you tell a reporter that? And then that reporter then blasts a kid's grades on national TV. Anyway, it's neither here nor there, but I just had to get that out of the way because I thought that was kind of slimy. So that's the 2 D tackles. There's another D tackle. I'll just call him Wally. I think he's a JUCO guy, just a 3-star. However, he has the size, and it's telling when Bama goes hard after a player, and Bama was trying to get this kid even kind of late in the game. D end, you got Brian Burns on signing day, 4-star guy. I think he's a 5-star on one of the sites, and he's about 6'5", 6'6", probably about 6'5". But he's put on a lot of weight. He's only about 220. But his get off, which just sounds perverse, his explosion is there. Like, he's fast as shit. In the highlights I've watched, it's like hike, he already has one step over the line. It's like insane. So he might not. He most likely won't see the field until 17. But who knows? Maybe they could just bring him in on third downs like they did with Featherstone in his first year, because he was a skinny motherfucker and he still saw the field a little bit. That might have been more out of necessity, but still, that's a great pickup, because down the road when he does put on the weight, whew, without it keeps that explosiveness. It's not even going to be fair between him and Sweat. Uh, Another DN they got is more of a raw talent from what I read. Janarius Robinson, another 4-star guy. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4", in that 250-ish range. And the top of my head, that's all I can remember from the D line. But as if you're paying attention, that's 2 4-star D tackles, 2 4-star DNs, and a 3-star D tackle that was coveted by Bama. So a good collection of talent on the D line. So between the offensive and defensive lines, I don't know if they could have done much better as a collective group. So that's what you want to see. I mean, everyone loves running backs and receivers and quarterbacks, and I do too. But that's what the fucking game's won. It's won at the fucking line. So I love when they get the 4 and 5-star D linemen and offensive linemen. Although technically, I don't think there's been a 5-star offensive lineman signed with FSU since Jimbo took over. A consensus 5-star, that is, because I think Dickerson was rated 5-star in a site or two. Anyway, moving to linebacker, which is a huge position of need. Keon Joyner is a 4-star. I think he might be a 6'3", maybe 215, 220, so he probably put on a little more weight. But a good player. And some say he would have been ranked a little higher, but apparently he has some off-field stuff. But FSU had looked into it, and it wasn't as bad as people perceived. So he might have suffered in the rankings because of that a little bit. I'm not 100% sure on that. But some of these sites, when they rank kids, they do consider ranking character. Sorry, probably more so with QBs, they really consider character. But nonetheless, another 4-star linebacker, huge position of need. So that's what they need. Then what else they get? Emmett Rice, who I think on some sites he might have been bumped to a 4-star. He's kind of a speed guy. Bud Elliott from TomahawkNation.com kind of comparison to Telvin Smith. Not a bad comparison. I'll take that. Who's the other linebacker? I feel like they got. Well, I was going to say Jackson for last, but since I can't remember the other guy, because I feel like they got 4 of them. Oh, Josh Ball. Or no, not Josh Ball. Josh Brown? Yeah. Might have been Josh Brown. Yeah, let's just say it's Brown. He could possibly see the field early. He was a beast in the Under Armour All-America game. Another 4-star guy. And then Dontavius Jackson. Huge get, because he's an interior linebacker, which the Knowles don't have many of. Unless the unicorn, a.k.a. Matthew Thomas. Credit to Jeff Cameron for the unicorn reference. Jeff Cameron's radio show host in Tallahassee. Anyways, so they definitely filled on the linebacker position of need big time. Jackson's about 6'2", 240, ready to step on the field right away. I'd be surprised not to see him. Maybe not be a starter, but I'd be surprised not to see him on the field at some point. Moving on to the secondary. The secondary was very good. It could have been elite if Jamel Cook didn't flip, but he did, is what it is. Still, I think any FSU fan should be more than happy with players like 4-star cornerback Carlos Becker, 4-star CB Kyle Myers, and some guy named Levante Taylor, the consensus number 1 cornerback in the country. This kid is sick, not surprisingly given his number 1 ranking, but He's not the biggest guy. He's not like Ramsey, but a lot of people have compared him to Vernon Hargraves. But this kid, when the ball's in his hands, he does stuff with it, whether it's after an interception, punt return, kick return. And this kid will see the field immediately, if anything, at punt returning, because if you've watched punt returning the last few years, we just don't have a punt return game. We just don't. Jimbo's like, I just do everything I can just to find a guy to catch the fucking ball. And sometimes I don't even do that. Fucking Jesus Wilson. To Jesus. And I feel like I'm forgetting a secondary guy. I've named the 3 4-stars. I feel like there was one more. Carlos Becker, Kyle Myers, Levante Taylor. Fuck me. Anyway, I can't think. I said I wouldn't remember every player, but I probably named damn near every player from this class. Baby's waking up over there. Anyway, great class. Great fucking class. Whether it's number 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, it's consensus top 3. It's outstanding. This is the type of class that you can build a national title winning team from. By that I mean, like, if you consistently get classes of this ilk, you're going to build a title winning team. And Jimbo, more often than not, has gotten top 5 classes. Just last year, he got top 5 class. Didn't have the greatest signing day, but still, he had a sick class last year, especially at the top. So that wraps up my 2 cents on National Signing Day. Now it's like, fuck, when's the season going to start? Because holy fuck, you get excited because you're like, yeah, man, fucking players, yeah, fuck yeah, man, top 3 class, hell yeah, we hit every fucking need. Oh, I gotta wait 7 fucking more months. And what are they doing 7 months? Ole Miss in Orlando. I'll be there. See if Ole Miss has all their players. See if they actually get in trouble for their recruiting. But it should be fun. I think many of these kids, like many new recruits, won't see the field next year. This class is definitely a depth builder, which will help them out in 17 and 18 and 19. But great class, and I guess just 7 more months. See how all this turns out. All right, till next time.